Story 11. Quack Quack goes to the cinema. In the village of Puddleton it had rained heavily all through the night, and it was still raining when Quack Quack woke up. She looked out of her window to see miserable grey skies and huge puddles in the road and all down her front path. "Oh, what a horrible day outside it is," she said to herself. "Nice weather for ducks, though," and chuckled quietly. "What am I going to do today?" she wondered. And then, as if reading her thoughts, the telephone rang. "Hello, Puddleton 2695, answered Quack Quack. "Hello, Quack Quack, it's Herbie Bear from next door. What are you doing today?" he asked. Herbie was Quack Quack's best friend, and she was always pleased to hear from him. "Well," said Quack Quack, "I was just thinking about that when you rang. Any ideas?" "I've just read in the newspaper that the new film Teddy Tales has come to Bridleton Cinema, and I'd really like to see it, as the main star is Miranda Freesha," said Herbie. "So would I," squealed Quack Quack with delight, "as the music is by Wrong Direction, and I love them." "That's settled then," Herbie answered, "and we'll have something to eat at the pizza house afterwards. I'll drive us there in half an hour, so pop over to me then, and don't forget your umbrella, Quack Quack." An hour later, Quack Quack and Herbie got into his car and drove to Bridleton. "I'm so pleased you rang me on this miserable day and suggested the cinema," Quack Quack said to Herbie as they were standing in the queue to buy their tickets. And they bought themselves a big carton of popcorn each as well. They settled down in the cinema to watch the film. It became quite crowded as more people came and sat down in the seats to the sides and front of them, as well as behind. But Quack Quack and Herbie didn't really notice, as they were so excited the film was shortly going to start. Halfway through the film, and just as the Wrong Direction was singing, Quack Quack jumped up from her seat in pain, and in the process her popcorn flew out of its carton and showered all the people in the seats in front of her. They all looked around very disapprovingly as they picked popcorn out of their hair and clothing. "Oh, I am sorry," said Quack Quack. "What's the matter?" asked Herbie in alarm. "I just got a sharp pain in my back," said Quack Quack, "and it really made me jump. It must have come from behind me." But when she turned around, there was no one in the seats behind. "Very strange," said Quack Quack, and settled back into her seat to watch the rest of the film. A few minutes later, Herbie jumped up from his seat. "Ow!" he exclaimed, to which the people in front turned round to him and tutted, following by a shh. "Has the same thing just happened to you?" said Quack Quack. "Yes, it has," yelped Herbie, "but at least I'd already finished my popcorn." They both peered around them to see what was going on, but the seats behind weren't occupied. "Shh," said Herbie. "Listen." They both strained to listen above the noise of the film. "Can you hear that sniggering?" whispered Herbie. "And I'm pretty sure I know who's behind it." "Come out now, Bert and Ernie. I know you are there." "Oh, not those naughty twins," said Quack Quack with annoyance. And with that, two cheeky faces suddenly appeared from under the seats. And seeing Quack Quack and Herbie's angry faces, they leapt out from under the seats, climbing over the back of them, clutching their coats and umbrellas, and disappeared out of the door. "Those naughty little imps," cried Quack Quack. "They've been poking us in our backs with their umbrellas. That's ruined my enjoyment of the film, and now I missed half of it." "Come on, Herbie, let's go. We'll come back and watch it another time, and I'll sort out those naughty monkeys later," said Quack Quack. Wandering out of the cinema, Herbie saw that Quack Quack looked quite upset. "Come on, let's cheer ourselves up and have that pizza we promised ourselves," he suggested, to which Quack Quack really did perk up, and they dashed through the rain to the restaurant. The waitress sat them down at a table by the window and handed them a menu each. "Oh, I don't know what to have," said Herbie. "Neither do I," said Quack Quack. "There's so much choice." Eventually they decided on a sharing plate, which the waitress brought over, and they both tucked in. Quack Quack was looking out of the window at the rain, which was still falling, but was distracted. "What's going on out there?" she quacked. "It's those two cheeky monkeys again. What have they been up to now?" Well, I don't know what it is, said Herbie, but they don't look very happy at all, and they're being chased by the manager of the cinema. The monkeys looked quite scared as they dashed past the window of the pizza house, but then darted into the door of the restaurant and, seeing Quack Quack and Herbie sitting at the window, ran over to them and hid by their chairs. Please help us, they both chorused. We've been naughty and we're going to get into trouble. Before they had time to explain, the manager of the cinema came over to the table. Come out, you two naughty monkeys, he said in a brusque tone. The twins, knowing there was no escape, sidled out from behind the chairs, looking very sheepish. Now you explain yourselves to me, said the manager. All my customers have been complaining to me about all your antics in the cinema and the mess you've caused with everyone's spilt popcorn. Oh, it wasn't just us then, said Quack Quack, looking at Bert and Ernie very disapprovingly. Well, you two monkeys have been busy, the manager said sternly to them. Bert and Ernie shuffled their feet and looked down at the floor in shame. Well, you can make amends now, said the manager. You two are going to come back to the cinema now the show's finished and sweep up all the floors. And with that he escorted the very miserable-looking monkeys back to the cinema. We're sorry, chanted the monkeys, but they knew they were going to have to do what the manager said. Oh, by the way, the manager called over his shoulder to Quack Quack and Herbie. I've put 2 free tickets aside for you to see Teddy Tails tomorrow without any interruptions, and looked over at the 2 very sad-looking monkeys. Well, that's their just desserts, said Quack Quack. And, said Herbie, talking of desserts, what shall we have now?